I thought that it was a great discussion. The business leaders were very candid about areas that they saw great progress and where they'd like to see more. And the Prime Minister was equally candid about what he was doing to try to move things along. This notion of speed. We live in a world where speed counts, and we need to address the friction that comes with bureaucracy.
That's right.
Was one that got a lot of discussion, and I think the Prime Minister is on it.
Some quarters of India Inc. are beginning to get worried about the pace of reforms that has slowed down in the last 1 year. Did America Inc. also raise that point?
We always want to go faster. The notion of speed came up several times, but I thought the Prime Minister was very eloquent in terms of talking about what he's doing to move faster. And I think he recognizes, as everybody does, that things can never move fast enough for business leaders. And that's true in India and everywhere in the world.
GE is a very important stakeholder as far as the India story is concerned. This initiative was all about Make in India. It's a subject and a theme very close to the Prime Minister's heart. What kind of assurances is he willing to give you, and what will it really take from people like yourselves and many other peers who are present in that room to begin parking their dollar to Make in India?
Well, we don't need any more assurances, quite frankly, than what he's already done. I mean, we're in Make in India. We've got some outstanding facilities. We see the benefits, both for the business that we have in India and the business we have outside of India. So we're committed. Make in India is fit for purpose in a world where jobs are the real global currency. It's so important to create jobs, not just in India, but in every country around the world. And Make in India is I think it's a great brand, but it's more than just a brand. It has real substance behind it.
My last question to you before I let you go is really coming in from the political logjam. One has seen that happen as far as important legislation like the Uniform Goods and Services Tax is concerned, or even for that matter the Land Bill, which is really the starting point for any investment. Is that a point of concern for corporates like yourselves, the huge political logjam, the standoff that we've seen on key issues?
I would say globally, the political processes that we encounter can at various points be a point of concern, because democracy doesn't always move fast. And we live in a world where there's a higher premium on speed every day. So I think the democratic process everywhere will need to pick up, because the expectations of populations in India, in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, is that democracy is going to work for them, and it's not going to take forever to do it.
Do you believe there's finally a sense of realism that has sunk into the kind of expectations that are from the Modi government back home? It started off with a huge euphoria, and then, of course, reality always hits ground. Do you think that has happened in the last 1 year?
Well, it's probably part of that, because I think people come to realize the magnitude of the task. There's a lot to be done. India is an enormous country with lots of needs and lots of opportunity, and I think you have to recognize that some things are going to move a little faster than others.
How was the meeting with the Prime Minister? What were the kind of issues that were raised, and what are the concerns that you raised?
Ease of doing business, transparency, moving India to the modern century, trying to overcome the bureaucracy. His major point: I ran a state for 14 years. I know how to get this done. Prioritization is important. The business community on a global business basis needs global standards, and we in India are ready to do business.
Are you willing to buy the assurance that's coming in from the Prime Minister? Yes, he ran Gujarat very successfully, but India is no Gujarat.
Sure, and clearly India is no Gujarat. But 1.25 billion people, how can you not? And if the intent is there, the intent is there. So I think the words of reassurance to the global business community, a lot of companies in that room, were very strong.
The global business community, is it losing some sleep over the pace of reforms that have kind of slowed down in the recent past in India, given the political logjam that the country has seen?
Remember, the word global means everyone's running at different speeds. India is running at breakneck speed compared to other countries. So that's a really important point. Relative speed is important here. Still, India's relative speed is ahead of most other countries.
The Make in India initiative is very close to the Prime Minister's heart. I'm sure he spoke about that. What are some of the concerns that you would want the government to be addressing before you start really investing the top dollar there?
The point about a bilateral investment treaty with the United States is important. So no clawback to past legacy issues, no clawback to past liability, full compliance with global standards, no unique to India standards. Make in India is a very good initiative because it brings innovation.
I think the main concern we as a CEO forum raised is consistency of policy implementation. Because we have seen in 1 year, Prime Minister has taken various bold moves and has delivered on them. But we like to see that there's no repealing and he consistently goes forward, number one. Two, we want ease of business. Right. I mean, 142nd ranking in 189 countries is not a good record card. He again reminded, I want to be in top 50, which with the pace he's going in his administration, I think we go forward. And the third thing people wanted to hear from him is consistency of power and quality of power, which he gave a lot of facts and figures. As I said, these are very early days, but the most important thing I'm walking away from is he's very calm, composed, and more determined than I saw last year.
Mr. Paliwal, that's a very important assessment that you're making, that he seems to be more determined. But in the last 1 year, do you believe reality has also come back to strike corporates around the world, both India and the US? There was a lot of euphoria that was riding on initially. But of course, there have been key legislations that have been stalled by the opposition. Do you believe there is reality now that there is a limited elbow room as far as economic reforms are concerned?
I think there's a lot of elbow room in India. We needed a leader who is relentless in pushing his message, and his approach has changed too. His reality has been that he's not only staying with BJP, he's now reaching out to the southern camps and northern and eastern, he's talking. I think that's exactly what CEOs do. I mean, we don't have to like everybody, but we have to work with them. So that's one thing he's doing differently than last year. And I think from the reality point of view, he has shown on various fronts that India is moving towards reform. And look, corporate sectors worldwide, we have our balance sheets are with trillions of dollars, and we are always looking to diversify ourselves. China is a big market for us and for most of the American corporations. But India with massive opportunity for not 5 years, 10 years, but 50, 100 years.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.